Okay, perfect. The Swag Only Certified Freaks PGC experience. This is a lovely drawing of us. Here's Judith Martinez, Nate Cabrera, Samara Rogers, and me. Okay, so where did it all begin? There's two things you should know about me. One is that I'm an empath, which means I care about everything, probably a little bit too much. And the other is that I'm progressive, which means I'm always trying to push things forward and look for what's new. So that led me to going vegan at 12 years old and later founding the Students for Sustainability Project, which is a small youth organization focused on educating and inspiring our community to fight for the planet and its people. Here are some pictures of me, and the Project Green Challenge was actually an assignment for our AP Environmental Science class. So here's our squad. We are all from Chula Vista, California, which is a highly culturally and economically diverse area, which has really shaped who we are. So Nate, Judith, and we've been friends for years. We're really close. And we actually met Samara through S4S, which is super cool. And it's become kind of a quarantine friendship for us. And here are pictures. And as you're looking at the pictures of us, I just want you to think about how pictures are moments in time. And our team is all about living in the moment, but there has to be a moment to live in, and that's why we fight. So PGC was tough. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. PGC was late nights, it was work. But we learned so much, and I'm not just talking about circular economies and fair trade and water conservation. I'm talking about each other, about communication, about teamwork. So it was definitely #inspirational, and it strengthened us as a team. So we just want to give a big shout out to Turning Green and all of the partners and everybody that's led us here. So here's our work over the past month. As you can see, there's a lot of it. It was a pretty grueling experience, but so rewarding. And the things that we took out of PGC are our perseverance and just the dedication to everything that we do. And I just want to highlight our individual strengths for a moment. Samara is an amazing artist who channels her activism through visual art. Judith is our rock, and she has an incredible work ethic. And Nate's creativity just blows me away every single day. And so this is just why we come together as a great team. And we're going to take all of these things that we learned in PGC and use them in our climate action project, which has two parts that I'm going to tell you about. The first is our school garden. So its purposes are to educate about sustainability, highlight native Southern California plants, reduce food with a wonderful S4S team, and then provide habitat for insects, create space on campus to relax through a Zen garden area, educate about carbon sequestration in green spaces and the use of permaculture in gardening, and provide resources for food insecure areas. So as I highlighted earlier, Chula Vista is diverse, which also means there's a big income gap. And so providing that possible produce, or even just showing people how they can garden in their own homes, in their own spaces, would just be so amazing for us. And to teach people that composting is cool, and it's actually not as hard as you might think. And so here we have our little garden space, a beautiful drawing. We have some planter boxes, and just to give you a few examples, we have ideas to do a succulent box, to do a drought-tolerant box, to do a produce through a use of a vegetable box. And then we have some benches, our little bonsai tree for sort of a Zen space, an archway, and some rain barrels. And then this is a aerial view of the garden, just to show what lovely space we have, provided by our high school administration. So we have actually already started on our garden project. So it is approved by our high school, and they've been very supportive, which is so exciting to hear. We have purchased and created various aspects of the garden, including the tires that you see painted here as planter boxes, and all of these wonderful pavers decorated by students through our garden paver fundraiser, where we sold these and we were collecting them after they are decorated to seal and place as a walkway in the garden to highlight that it is really a community effort and a community space. We have also collaborated with Eco Club, which I happen to be the vice president of, which helps, and the Class of 21 cabinet, which is the senior cabinet. And we really want to emphasize that this garden is going to be a space of peace and joy in this pandemic. So a little bit more, our garden space would impact our high school, Olympian High School, which has a population of 2,500 people, but we actually want to do more. We're always pushing, we're always trying to do more. And so we have two ideas here for our community outreach, which would impact the 40,000 students, not including parents and staff in our area. So we have the idea of the Youth Climate Senate, which would gather the minds of students through an empowering leadership conference. And 9 out of the 13 high schools in our district have an environmental club. So really utilizing those leaders and channeling their representatives to get unique perspectives on how we go with that event. And then the other event would be the Climate Crisis Educational Workshop, which is a webinar that would provide information on essential topics like climate justice, intersectionality, political lobbying, systemic change versus individual action. The list goes on. And that would impact our entire community, as parents, staff, and students would all be welcome. And here's a little bit more about us. So our organization is called the Students for Sustainability, or S4S project. And we are honestly just a group of teens. We get together, figure out how we can make different TikTok videos, YouTube videos, really just access our audience. But also we have serious passion behind what we do. We truly believe in our phrase, which is true sustainability through climate justice. And that's something that I'm going to tell you a little bit more about in just a second. But here's our logo and a little bit of a sample of the work that we've done. Okay, so our dreams and goals. Here's a lovely picture of Nate and I enjoying nature. And then the S4S exponential growth is our goals. So those 4 schools that I said earlier do not have an environmental club. Our first goal is to expand and put S4S chapters at those schools, because I seriously do not believe it is for a lack of passion, but necessarily they just need a little bit of help. And then collaborations with local youth organizations. We have some really great organizations here in San Diego that we would love to work with. And our legacy. So I'm a senior, Nate's a senior, Judith's a senior, but Samara is actually a junior. And we have members of S4S who are even younger, sophomores. So really working with them and saying, hey, we might graduate in a year, but you guys, and just incorporating everything we learned from PGC into all of our content for S4S, into everything we do. So everything we learned about all the different topics from all the different days. And that leads us to our bigger purpose, which is to redefine sustainability. And I just want to talk about this for a minute because it's really at the core of everything that we do. We want to redefine sustainability into something that is tangible, inclusive, accessible, and utilize that as a force. Really want to reframe the conversation, because a lot of the talk is about what we're doing and about what this great eco-conscious community is doing, but we want to talk about who's left out. We want to talk about the people that feel disconnected and left behind, because those are the people we're going to need to work with moving forward. So recognizing that sustainability is a privilege, recognizing that environmentalism has a racist past, and recognizing that there are many climate change deniers out there that unfortunately we will have to work with and, provide compromises to really fight the climate crisis. Let's see. So, okay, let me just take a breath. So life is scary and unpredictable, and I've been talking pretty fast and moving through this, but I just want to take a minute to acknowledge that on Monday, November 9th, pretty recently, the day before our garden paver fundraiser, my former dance teacher and young Olympian high school teacher, Ms. Schulte, passed away due to a sudden stroke. And nothing could have prepared us for that day. Nothing could have prepared us for the day after, having to go to the school and host the fundraiser despite all of the pain and all of the grief. And this, if anything else, while I was delivering food to her family, I was talking to her husband, and I told him that we would dedicate a garden space for her, because she was my dance teacher of 2 years. I have a serious love for dance, and I just felt like we needed a space for this. And so this is the lovely paver that my artistic friend Mia painted for her and her 2 daughters. And just seeing that we may have all these big goals and these big dreams, but there's something so powerful about tangible, specific impact. And we are confident in the impact we made. We have affected people's lives. People have reached out to me and said that painting the paver was actually something that I think is so important. And that's what drives us to our big why. So our big why is climate justice, but I just want to get into a little bit of what that means. Climate justice is social justice. Climate justice is physical and mental health care. And climate justice is life and love. And it's really at the core of everything that we do, everything that we are. And that's just something that has been emphasized throughout PGC and something we want to emphasize throughout our project. So thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you, Turning Green, for everything. To all the other finalists, we are so inspired by you and seeing all your submissions. And I really enjoyed this weekend.